We always hope for a better place. Millions of individuals who have been constrained to take off their homes to elude war, viciousness, and mistreatment. About half of the world's displaced people are children, and a few of whom are accompanied by the grown-ups. It makes them especially powerless to child labor or sexual misuse. And each refugee story is diverse, and numerous of them go through an unsafe travel with abuse comes about. The displaced person emergency is one of the foremost squeezing worldwide issue we confronted, since displaced people are escaping viciousness and precariousness in their possessed nation. They are frantic to elude an improbable return. They are crucial result when the huge bunches and individuals escape together, and government and charitable organizations have to be guaranteed that the crises are minimized. Displaced people are stabilized and have nations don't endure. In this situation before here in Lanao del Norte, back when I was 4 years old, during attack of Moro Islamic Liberation Front of MILF, feel scared to recall that the time just like what happened in Europe and Afghanistan, but there are more than that. So for me, if I would be given a chance to all nations, by facing this problem, we can predict what would happen in our nation every single day, no matter how perfect our plan is. There's always a possibility to happen, or no one is perfect regarding in this painful refugee crisis, but there is a way to lessen this kind of difficulties. For me, in every country there is limitation for everyone or security that's a standard to every citizen. That is when racism started, and being not respectful of each differences. So sad to think, but always happen, and always the problem by facing in all of this, because before border is not existed. You can be everywhere. In dealing with this, there are ways to listen, working together, and all of us being accepted in one another, like talking how we can resolve this kind of difficulties. Like for every example, every rich country should be the one to work all of us and be able to help and voice out that needs to be heard, and also will share their wealthy responsibilities by protecting refugees one step at a time. In dealing with the educational problem, to work together like how America give opportunities to those who wanted to work, because not everyone love to go to school, and not everyone has the opportunity to school, but it doesn't define from who we are. In dealing with this, by working together, give opportunities, no racism or any backup, like observing how good that people is toward in these skills. We tend to speak respect us, but we as citizens can't even respect the differences. So it needs understanding, interaction between everything else in the world. Second is increasing our support. Like we may have this a lot of kind of blessing, we should tend to be more give to those in need. Like we are all emotional to the latest news, refugee crisis in Afghanistan. Philippines, one of the were in this kind of Afghanistan people, but supporting is a way to listen in this time of crisis. Affluent countries must moreover increment the back and subsidizing they give to individuals in conflict-stricken nation. Also, for example, that is now COVID-19 pandemic affecting our humanitarian fundings and economy, just like how each country offers some COVID vaccination for the people, such as Europe are looking to cut their compassionate to help budget in endeavor to spare cash. In the meantime, helpful offers around the world are extremely underfunded, and the hole between source need is growing, but in widespread appeared that the well-off nation can discover gigantic sum of the bolster their possesses economies when they got to. For a fair of modest division of this sum, this country could give life-saving helpful help and assurance to millions of individuals living in strife zones. So each people also can have get-together supporting funds for those in need. This way to listen and help uplifting our humanitarian. Moreover, permit them to work, but millions of local citizens within the world are not permitted to work in their own countries, just like Philippines, since then don't hold the correct qualifications. Numerous other millions of individuals have their property not sanctioned in this way, incapable to get in credit, in spite of the fact that the issue is more complex than this, and the preposition would be an enormous step ahead. Lastly, protecting asylum seekers. For every rich countries protecting the asylum seekers to dealing in this like protecting but not returning them into their lives before affluent nation ensure refugee searcher by not returning them to unsafe circumstances. Ensuring the safety of non-refoulement may be a crucial guideline of worldwide law that prohibits nations from returning refugee searchers to a nation where they would be a hazard, mistreatment, or hurt. Well-off nations must stand by the soul of this guideline and secure those who are in court protection. The outcast emergency is gigantic and developing, but it is additionally an issue made by human. Solutions are conceivable, able to offer a pro individual stately life on and off change that we at its were have will to do so. Also, like we said, temporary citizenship can help too, because like I said, countries has limitation. We human beings has always have a soft heart in dealing with this. And also build better comes closer. The refugee camp, small or big help, can offer a stepping stone and a step to help supporting each other by an act service. It's an act of love towards them. Ending wars for every country is a safe home to every citizen, and a way to solve by peace. Building a reconstructor to solve the jobless. Raising the walls in each country doesn't give us solution. It needs the wall to stay down. We know that the share of them financial displaced people sort arrangement would be return this worker security and financially back the thriving in their nation. What should be need to be heard should be heard in order for us to think solution differences. How come we can always talk about respectful and loving, understand each other, as we people cannot even do the right thing, do it small or big, at least it help to listen our refugee crisis.